tonight on First at 9 this Saturday the 12th of April 2025. New Year festivities. Sri Lanka gears up to celebrate the nation's largest festival. The Sri Lanka police reveal special traffic operations to curb accidents during this festive season. The sword of justice. The government empowers and adequately supports the CID, the Attorney General's Department and the Bribery Commission, claims the President. CID obtains a 90-day detention order against former State Minister Sivanesadure Chandrakanthan alias Pillayan. Surge in confidence. An improvement of confidence in the stability of Sri Lanka's financial infrastructure reveals the central bank. Proceed with caution. Fitch Ratings warn of corporate supply chain disruptions in Asia and Pacific in the aftermath of US President Donald Trump's tariff announcement.
Chino Dairy, Sri Lankawama Kiren Perata. Obe Vishwasi Dinu Sensorain, then Langamati Pharmacy in Labagata Hacker.
Kanta Parisang karagathot? Api Parisang.
This is Derana First at 9. From Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Singha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world, brought to you by the only Sri Lankan media network to rise to the pinnacle across all media platforms, recognized as the best by every survey and beloved by the people. Now, on your top story tonight, despite recent economic and other challenges, Sri Lankans are anticipating the Sinhala and Tamil New Year with hope and excitement, looking forward towards renewed prosperity and happiness. Sri Lankans young and old are gearing up to celebrate the dawn of the Solar New Year, the biggest national celebration with traditions and norms followed for centuries. With that, here's a look at New Year traditions to bring you up to speed on all there's to know about this year's auspicious times and how Sri Lankans are preparing to welcome the New Year.
The Sinhalese and Tamils of Sri Lanka celebrate the dawn of the Solar New Year, also known as the Aluttawurudda in Sinhala and Puttandu in Tamil, in accordance with age-old traditions and norms. It is the biggest national festival celebrated in Sri Lanka, involving family and loved ones. The customs and traditions tied to the Sinhala and Tamil New Year are performed at auspicious times each year. According to the annual Nakatsi tour, the ritual of the ceremonial bath of the old year falls on Sunday the 13th of April. People are advised to apply nanu, a herbal mixture prepared with the essence of dimbul leaves, on the head. This year's inauspicious time, better known as the Nonagathaya, falls at 8:57 p.m. on Sunday the 13th of April. During the Nonagathaya period, people refrain from all activities. The Nonagathaya time period is set to end at 9:45 a.m. on Monday the 14th. The dawn of the new year will arrive at 3:21 a.m. on Monday the 14th of April. The auspicious time to light the hearth and prepare meals falls at 4:04 a.m. on the 14th. Astrologers advise people to prepare milk rice along with a New Year sweetmeat while facing the south, dressed in copper-colored attire. The auspicious time to commence work, engage in transactions and have meals falls at 6:44 a.m. on Monday the 14th of April. This ritual should be performed while facing the south, clad in pearl and white attire. The auspicious time to anoint oil falls on Wednesday the 16th of April at 9:04 a.m. The anointment should be done with herbal oil made out of essence extracted from neem leaves, better known as kohomba. With 2 days remaining till the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, Sri Lankans across the island are shopping to stock up on New Year essentials and clothing. Large crowds were observed in shopping centres since this morning. Clothing stores and shops in Pamunu and Petta were flocked by shoppers ahead of the New Year. In the meantime, people expecting to commute outstation to their hometowns were seen at the Colombo Fort railway station. However, crowds receded as commuters were able to fulfill their transport needs with the deployment of the special transport services in effect. Meanwhile, passengers were stranded at the central bus stand Colombo today owing to the shortage of buses scheduled to reach Hatton, Kandy, Norelia and several other destinations. However, by 4 p.m. this evening, crowds dwindled at the Colombo central bus stand. The private bus stand in Basti and Mawata and the Makumbura Multimodal Centre too were crowded, with people expecting to visit their hometowns for the new year. The city of Colombo took on a deserted setting this afternoon, though it was heavily congested during the past few days.
පිරිපුන් ජීවිතයකට ඔබ සමගින් පෙරට යූනියන් ඇෂුවරන්ස්.
චන්දුරුසුනේ කාගෙන් මනාපේ සිංහ TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්.
With the Sinhala Tamil New Year festivities just around the corner, police media spokesman Buddhiga Manatunga revealed that special police traffic operations will be underway to curb road accidents caused by motorists driving under the influence of alcohol. The police media spokesman's comments preceded a heap of accidents reported across the island today as many Sri Lankans hit the roads to prepare for the New Year festivities. A van travelling from Mavanalla to Danture veered off the road near the Captain Dawson Tower in Kadugannava and fell onto the Colombo Kandy railway line at around 8 p.m. last night. At this particular stretch of the A1, the railway line runs below the main road, although they run parallel to each other. 15 individuals were travelling within the van at the time of the accident. In the immediate aftermath of the accident, the injured were promptly admitted to the Mavanalla Base Hospital. The accident clogged up traffic along the Colombo Kandy road for about 2 hours. Meanwhile, a tipper truck ran over an 85-year-old woman at the Tirunelveli junction along Palali Road in Jaffna. The elderly woman succumbed to her injuries on the spot. A private bus travelling along the Chilawa-Colombo Road veered off the road at Kakapallia junction and crashed into a tree this morning. The Chilawa police revealed that the accident was caused due to excessive speeding by the driver. Fortunately, no fatalities or injuries were reported. In the meantime, speaking exclusively to Ada Derana, police media spokesman SSP Buddhiga Manatunga revealed that special police operations will be underway to curb accidents caused by motorists driving under the influence of alcohol. Accordingly, special traffic operations were observed across Sri Lanka as it prepares to celebrate the Sinhala Tamil New Year. Now, in other local news, the Criminal Investigation Department has obtained a 90-day detention order against former State Minister Sivanesadure Chandrakanthan alias Pillayan for further interrogations. The former State Minister was arrested by the CID on Tuesday over his alleged connection in the disappearance of the Vice-Chancellor of the Eastern University, Professor Sivasubramaniam Ravindranath, in 2006. Complaints were lodged by the family of the professor on the 15th of December 2006 when the professor did not return home after attending a conference at the Science Centre in Colombo 7. During a subsequent investigation into the incident initiated by the Criminal Investigation Department in 2006, it was revealed that the professor had been abducted.
Fast track your career from O-levels with eSoft.
ඩයිබටසෝල් සීනිවලින් පරිස්සම්වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
කැලනි වයර් කිසිගින්නක් නෑ.
කිසිගින්නක් නෑ. කැලනි ෆයර් ෂීල්ඩ් වයර්.
Now, meanwhile, President Anura Dissanayake, speaking at an NPP rally, stated that the government has strengthened the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, the Criminal Investigation Department and the Attorney General's Department. The president went on to say that the government will take stern action against the corrupt.
Another NPP public rally themed outcome is clear, victory is ours, in view of the impending local government election, was held in Batiklo this morning under the patronage of President Anura Dissanayake.
We have commenced investigations on the Easter Sunday attacks. An individual from this neighborhood has also been arrested over those investigations. We should not let such a tragedy repeat in our country. Some people question us about what measures we will take against those engaged in corrupt activities, even though our government has not been involved in them. We will take stern action against those individuals. We have strengthened the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. We have provided adequate support to the Criminal Investigation Department and the Attorney General's Department. No one thought that the Inspector General of the Police would evade the police. Instead of the police hunting the suspect, the public had to look for the IGP. The CID arrested the former Chief Minister of the Uva province over a number of complaints. While he was in remand custody, a former president stated that the misconduct committed by the former Chief Minister was sanctioned by him. The former president spoke as if he is guilty and the Chief Minister is innocent. What happened next? The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption issued summons against the former president. The former president was ordered to appear before the commission on the 17th of April. However, the former president issued a letter yesterday stating that he is unable to appear before the commission because of New Year celebrations. Is this revenge? A suspect confessing that he committed a crime because it was ordered by someone else is not a valid defense. That confession must be made before the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Nobody would have imagined that summons would be issued against a former president. There is a queue of former presidents who need to be summoned. We will establish the rule of law in the country. Leader of the opposition and the Samaga Jana Balawege, Sajith Premadasa, points out that the incumbent government lacks a sustainable program to alleviate poverty in the country. Speaking at a public meeting yesterday, Premadasa highlighted that the country requires a proper program to ensure that funds are allocated for savings, investment, production and consumption for the alleviation of poverty.
Another public meeting of the Samaga Jana Balawege in view of the impending local government polls was held yesterday in Dematgoda under the patronage of opposition leader and leader of the SJB, Sajith Premadasa.
Poverty in Sri Lanka is steadily rising at the moment. The incumbent government still lacks a proper plan to alleviate poverty. The country requires a proper program to ensure that funds are set aside for savings, investment, production and consumption for poverty alleviation. Despite providing a sizable amount for consumption through the government's Aswasuma grants, the government still lacks a sustainable approach to reduce poverty. The government neither has a plan to eradicate poverty, nor do they have any concern towards the relevant matter. Their agenda is restricted to providing a considerable amount of funds to a certain group in society. However, in contrast, the SJB is committed to establishing a strong generation of self-reliant people who live and thrive without being dependent on others. Leader of the Sarvajana Bale, MP Dilith Jayavira, challenges the president to reveal the truth behind the agreements inked with India. Jayavira made these remarks at a youth meeting held in Avisavela today.
The Sarvajana Youth Candidate meeting in view of the upcoming local government elections was held in Avisavela today under the patronage of the leader of the Sarvajana Balaya, MP Dilith Jayavira.
During their 5 months in power, this government has already incurred 6 trillion rupees in borrowings. Creditors in rural areas are more competent than President Anura Dissanayake. It is your future that the NPP is mortgaging. This is the truth that the people must realize. It is the youth of our party that provides it with this driving force and vitality. It is their passion that motivates us to move forward. For that and more, you are very special to us. Currently, we are living through the biggest lie ever told in Sri Lankan history. We still don't know about the agreements with India. Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath told Parliament to make a request under the Right to Information Act to gain access to the contents of the pacts. I continuously challenge the President to make the agreements public. We now firmly believe that the signed agreements are unlawful because that is what they themselves told. In a few days, President Trump will be presented with the Mitra Vibhushana Award. Minister Chaturanga claims that after they sent a letter to President Trump, he immediately paused the tariffs against not only Sri Lanka but all other countries as well. If that indeed is the case, then the Mitra Vibhushana Award alone is insufficient. The Sri Lankan government must embrace him. They are now obliged to honour every visiting leader with awards, which suits us since it promotes our party's symbol, the medallion, at no cost to us. With that, here's a look at more opinions expressed in the political arena as the local government elections approach. The hypocrisy, iniquity and the political opportunism of the incumbent government was reflected when the government refused to grant funds for the local government institutions if the public refuses to vote for them in the upcoming elections. The government cannot take such decisions. The people should vote for the opposition in order to put an end to corruption, misuse of assets and theft. What would happen if a public representative from a different political party comes into power in your electoral district? There are only 2 tasks that he would be able to perform. One of them is that during festive seasons, they will be tasked with lighting up the streets. On the other hand, he can reserve the crematorium if someone dies. But anyone can do that. However, they cannot be a part of the government's plan for development since they stand in opposition to our agenda. The people must appoint a public representative who can work alongside the government. The president and his team are deceiving the public at the moment, claiming that they work to increase foreign reserves and reduce interest rates. They even claimed that they have strengthened the country's economy. How are these individuals able to deceive the public this way? Previously, at least 2 to 3% of the population, who incidentally were the most despicable people in the community, filed petitions against or interfered with the nation's development drive. Those people led the country's journey towards destruction during the past 76 years. The public who had been deceived by the government twice are now ready to teach them a lesson. We will not let them deceive the public once again and secure power of the grassroots. None of the political parties in the opposition will let that happen this time. No person is ready to be duped for the third time in a row. Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Ki Zhenghong, claims that China has contributed in many ways to improve the plight of many Sri Lankans suffering from chronic kidney disease. The contributions include the disbursement of a whopping 90 billion rupees to set up the Kandy North Pathadumbare Integrated Water Supply Project and the National Nephrology Hospital in Polonnaruwa. Speaking at an event held recently in Peradeniya, the Chinese ambassador further claims that the Joint Research and Demonstration Centre in Peradeniya helps Sri Lankans secure access to safe drinking water.
The inauguration of the International Water Conference on Climate Change and Environmental Pollution was held recently at the Joint Research and Demonstration Centre in Peradeniya. The conference, titled Challenges and Solutions for Food Security and Public Health, was organized to celebrate the 10th anniversary of China-Sri Lanka Water Technology Cooperation.
Like China, like Sri Lanka, same like many other countries, we were struggling with COVID, and JRDC led the country for the water environment to understand how the survival of this COVID-19 virus in different environments like saline water, groundwater, surface water, and so on. So it headed towards to putting up a sort of cabinet paper.
We contribute our technologies and our ideas for developing the relationship between Sri Lanka and China for the drinking water pollution and water environment protection in the future.
This is an important moment and a new starting point for China-Sri Lanka cooperation in water technology. Water is a source of life and is essential to health. A lot of people in Sri Lanka are suffering from the chronic kidney disease due to drinking water contamination. 10 years ago, the government of China Sri Lanka initiated the construction of the China-Sri Lanka Joint Research and Demonstration Center, Pathadumbare Integrated Water Supply Project, and the National Nephrology Specialized Hospital in Polonnaruwa. The total investment of those three projects is about 90 billion rupees. Besides this, we also donated 8 mobile kidney disease testing vehicles for use in rural areas. JRDC is helping realize the aspiration of the Sri Lanka people to access safe drinking water.
Now in other local news, the Sri Lanka Navy seized over 100 kilograms of heroin and crystal methamphetamine from a vessel intercepted during a special naval operation conducted in the deep seas off the coast of the country this morning. 6 individuals on board the vessel were taken into custody. The Navy estimates the street value of the seized narcotics to exceed 200 million rupees. In the meantime, the Sri Lanka Navy arrested 43 individuals involved in illegal fishing within the territorial limits of Sri Lanka during multiple operations conducted from the 25th of March to the 7th of April. The operations were conducted with the assistance of fisheries inspectors. The apprehensions were carried out in the coast of Valipadu in the northern province. The arrestees were caught engaging in practices such as illegal night diving, illegal harvesting of sea cucumber, fishing with explosives and using unauthorized fishing nets. During the operation, 45 unauthorized fishing nets, 5,005 sea cucumbers, 13 dinghies along with explosives and fishing gear were seized by the authorities. The suspects along with the fishing vessels and the gear were handed over to fisheries inspectors for onward legal action. Welcome back. You're joining Ada Derana, Sri Lanka's most trusted news source. Now releasing the key findings of the systematic risk survey, the central bank noted an improvement of financial institutions' confidence in the stability of Sri Lanka's financial infrastructure. According to the central bank, 106 firms participated in the survey, which was conducted for the first half of 2025.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka released key findings of the Systematic Risk Survey conducted for the first half of 2025, spanning from the 12th of December 2024 to the 10th of January 2025. The SRS quantifies and tracks market participants' view on risks to and their confidence in the stability of the Sri Lankan financial system. The sampling frame of the survey includes licensed banks, licensed finance companies, a specialized leasing company, insurance companies, unit trust managing companies, margin providers and underwriters, stock brokering companies, licensed microfinance companies and rating agencies. Accordingly, 136 firms participated in the survey. According to the Systematic Risk Survey, respondents' confidence in the stability of the financial system has improved compared to the survey conducted previously. The domestic macroeconomic risks, accounting for 33.5%, continue to be the most significant concern, while general risks lowered due to the fading of concerns over political uncertainties. Meanwhile, the survey reflected a heightened concern over global macroeconomic risks when compared with the previous years. Further, the perceived probability of materialization of a negative high-impact event further declined among the survey participants.
Now, in some international business news, Fitch Ratings says that sharp US tariff increases will disrupt corporate supply chains and affect economic growth and corporate earnings in Asia, the Pacific and globally, despite a 90-day pause on some of the larger tariff hikes. Effective tariff rates on US-China trade have been raised much further than anticipated following retaliatory actions on both sides. These tariffs are not yet subject to the 90-day pause. This, coupled with the minimum 10% tariff that remains in place on all Asia-Pacific exports to the United States, as well as various other sectors-based tariffs, will hurt Asia-Pacific companies that sell to the United States and Asia's export-oriented economies. Fitch Ratings view automobiles, tech hardware, chemicals and mining sectors to be directly exposed to tariff risks as the United States adopts a more aggressive approach to trade policy, while few sectors will not be affected. Fitch stated that exports from Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Taiwan, India, South Korea, Malaysia and Japan could face much higher US tariffs that would hurt their economic growth. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you. Have a great night.